Hi there, I am Adem Kibas. I am here in Ordu in Turkey. We are still in the pandemic. This is a cloudy August day. And this is another episode of my podcast. And right now we are talking about character arts. We are talking about appeal to people and what may in a way speak to viewers of TV show, what make why are TV characters in that sense beloved, hated, or whatever. Okay, we did not talk much of hate in that sense. Maybe later on. Maybe hate is something a subcategory. Maybe later on. However, before we continue, I will make an announcement, and this is, of course, I want to talk about desire. This is, I think, a very important topic for me personally. But before we do that, I want, in a way, continue with or want to record another, if you want, short story. Well, this was not really a short story the last time. However, I want to use this opportunity to record another audio file, a story, and then we will some sort of continue with desire, which is very important as well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and we will do some sort of analyze desire like we did with hate. Again, hate is not final, so we will still maybe come to some sort. We will maybe find overlappings with desire as well, and this is something we will then find out in our inquiry. However, the last time we talked about Mad Men, we talked about the TV show and about Don Draper. I mean, how he's been perceived, especially why people may admire him. Of course, the Don Draper, we said, some sort of epitomizes positive, if you want, or a rather old-fashioned type of being a superior. And this is that you are a man, that you are a very potent man. You are, in a way, not feminized. So this is what this is all about. So you're a potent man. He has a lot of female sexual partners. He is in charge. This is some sort of admirable. And if you compare him to Roger Sterling in the TV show, Roger Sterling in a way seems ridiculous, like a child, and Bert Cooper is in a way some sort of detached. He is not really a boss, and in a way a weirdo. So in that sense, Don Draper maybe have or has so much attraction or appeal to many men, or many men in that sense that they wanna be like him. They wanna emulate him and so on, because he's been considered manly, because Don Draper fulfills these demands what society has on men. Like we said, these demands of society, they did not cease. They are still in the society, no matter whether the rise of feminism. We talked about feminism as well. Feminism sees in the independence and self-determination rather through taking over male behavior, despite the fact that they advocate that all gender is, or that gender is a social constructed, and so on. But however, manliness or acting like a man is still being considered strong. Still, many feminists emulate this behavior, being manly, having manly facial features, or physical features. I mean, what is manly? To have a muscular appearance. You have clearly a non-female appearance. This is what some people partially, or which is partially documented in anorexia, for example, that people, or that women with anorexia, or some of women with anorexia have actually a dislike about female, or being a female, being too much female. This would mean that having curves, broad hips, and so on. So this is considered in a way as not appealing, and as well as some feministic approaches deny, or in a way negate womanhood and some sort of adapt male behavior. And Don Draper from Mad Men sort of has this appeal on it. I mean, even though he may be hated, assumably he will be hated by many feminists. However, nevertheless, he is this ideal role model, or what people want them to be, or what people in a way have in their idealized view how a man should be. Not only how he should be in that sense that he should be manly and good looking and so on, no, that he should be in charge, that he's some sort of the leader. He's the leader. He knows what's been done, and he has a lot of sexual adventures. This means he's important, despite the fact, of course, Mad Men has a broader story. I mean, this is every time the case, as well as with the Sopranos, the case. I mean, that there is a broader story, a broader narration, and that Mad Men, in that sense, has to be considered, or is sadness as well. I mean, this is what you see with Breaking Bad. I mean, this Breaking Bad, Mad Men, and Sopranos. These are, if you want, TV shows which engage your mind, as well as you think about, or should think about, the broader meaning of life. But however, nevertheless, this is always manliness, which is always in our time, especially in our time, attacked, as well as very fragile. And this is what you have with the other side of Don Draper. In that sense, he has to hide who he is. I mean, he was a coward. He took over the identity of a hero, of a war hero, Lieutenant Don Draper, because he was just Dick Whitman, a nobody. I mean, I would not say that his mother is a whore, that this is some sort of or you have to see that his mother is a whore, or his social background in that sense is actually that he's in a way, or should show you that he's in a way from a background which is not suitable, which you would expect with Prince Charming, for example. I mean, Prince Charming, he's someone, this chivalrous knight who comes from a good family, and who has, of course, some faults which makes him only human, whatever these faults may be, and then he's so charming. And so this is again Don Draper's background. May this is something I have to emphasize. This is my interpretation, however, maybe some sort of an indication of the end, or an indication of this old value system term of this militaristic class, because militaristic class in that sense that the military, especially in continental Europe as well as, had a long tradition among the nobility, especially in actually in entire continental Europe. The nobility would always be leading the leading personnel in the military would be officers and so on, and then of course, or in continental Europe, where you wanted to join the military, if you were not blue blood, or if you had no blue blood, then it was very hard for you to rose through the ranks. I mean, there are a lot of examples. I know some examples from the German military, despite the fact that the German military was, in a way, very effective in a sense, sadly effective, one has to say. However, they were pretty much close to commoners. Commoners had it pretty much tough to become a general and so on. And you could, in a way, some sort of assume that this is some sort of the darker side of Don Draper. So his background, he's no chivalrous knight. He has to hide his background. He's not hero. He's not a war hero, because what was the old nobility known for? A war that they would or that they had created institution. The nobility was the institution of military landlords who had special rights because they defended special areas of the empire, special areas of their country whatsoever. This has, of course, if you know a little bit history, history of the late Roman Empire, then you know, or then you see some of those developments which then took place, which are then crucial in the Middle Ages, and this is the rise of soldier kings. This is the rise of the military in the Roman Empire. The military becomes more and more important. This is what then later is taken over in the Middle Ages, and then becomes some sort of the gender, the arc, how man should behave, where man should orient themselves, and then the nobility then pretty much is the institutional manifestation of this war, of this, and of manliness. And this is then, there are a lot of movies as well of people. I mean, there's a lot of, I think with Heath Ledger and so on, where men struggle because they are not of noble blood and so on. This is something you can, in a way, interpret with Don Draper. So he has this darker side. He is not of noble blood. He's some sort of not part of this elite, this privileged elite, because if you will see Roger Sterling as well as Bert Cooper, all these they were all privileged. They were all born in the upper class. Or a great example is Pete Campbell. I mean, he has a name. He's very he grew up very privileged, and he feels himself entitled to, and so on and so on. And this is a whole different approach than you have to Don Draper, because he is not this chivalrous knight. He only took over this idea, and this is what we talked about the last time. This struggle of man, in a way, to keep up this role model of man, to keep up that you as the man are pretty much on top, that you are leading the society, that you in a way can take care of yourself as well as of your family, that you actually are there where you expect it to be. So this plays a crucial part in Don draper. So where you have to say it, there are actually two